Wow. We're here, dudes. Pre-warning, I am incredibly tired. I had an exam today, but now I get to chill with some cool people. And I hope you can hear me, so say hi. And welcome to the third episode of Breaking Character, where me, your host, Sock22, God, I need to get that name changed. We'll dive into the minds and go behind the scenes with some of the nerdy voice actors. Everybody but Connor. The roleplayers on NoPixel. And yeah, we'll find out some more about their characters, more about the roleplay, and what their thoughts and dreams are, etc., etc. Again, oh god, I haven't got my list because there's so many things to thank for. I'm sorry if I forget you, but thank you for everyone who helps out with this. Seriously, there's so many people, whether you're big, you're small, whatever, you help out with me because I need it, and I'm a Pega. So thank you again for Rezaru for the intro, LP for all these amazing artworks, overlays. God, my brain is not functioning. My brain is not functioning properly. So I'm slurring my words. What is wrong with me? But yeah, thanks everybody for coming. Okay, what is wrong with me, dude? I'm gonna go say hello to the people who are waiting. Behind the scenes. And tonight I have Kari and Airborne, which we can we can say hello to. All right. So I'm gonna mute them, and then they can do all the talking tonight, and I'll just sit here and ask questions. Okay. Okay. I will. I'll see you guys. Well, why am I saying I'll see you guys soon? We're gonna go say hello. What am I doing? Okay. Let's go. Hello.
Hi.
Oh, there you are. Okay, beautiful. Okay, introduce yourselves, people. For those people who don't know you, I'm already drunk apparently, but just say hello.
You're drunk?
Yes, I'm very drunk, Kari. We are drinking.
What the hell?
And just say hello, who you are, what your Twitch is, and who you play on the server. Go.
Ladies first.
No, your name starts with an A, so you're first.
Okay,
in the alphabet.
So I am Airborne, and formerly Airborne Spore, but the gracious Twitch gods allowed me to change my name to Airborne, which is something that's very sincere and true to me because I was airborne in the military. But I play most notably Dennis Labar, the Chief Justice, and before that, I played Pistol Pete, which I don't play that character that much. And my Twitch channel is just Airborne. And I'm also an admin for NoPixel.
Hell yeah, you are. Kari, go.
Hey, hi, I'm Kari. I used to be Kari Mew before I changed it and dropped the Mew. And
Hold on, can we take a break? You say, how do you say your name?
Yeah, I was actually about to say, one day you'll say my name right. It's Kari.
It's Kari. Okay, carry on, Kari.
No, Kari.
Sorry, carry on.
Kari.
I'm sorry, Kari.
Oh my god. I
can hear him swirling his drink around in the background, like
I know, fucking alcoholic. Anyway,
dry martini.
I'm Canadian. I play Chloe mostly, but I also have Cocoa Puffs, which is my filthy criminal that Dark is going to invite to his wedding one day.
Uh-oh.
When it happens, y'all. I don't know what else to say.
No, that's good. It's good.
I'm a corgi.
Twitch.tv/Kari.
Oh yeah, I'm at Kari. Twitch.tv, and I have a corgi named Echo. There we go.
Echo? I actually didn't notice that.
Oh yeah, I forgot about my cat. My cat Unity.
Unity?
Yeah.
That's a good name. Hear that one.
Well, I got it from a skit from the Dave Chappelle show with Rick James when he punches the guy in the forehead and he's got that ring on and it says Unity and it left an imprint on the guy's forehead that said Unity. I just come up with weird names.
That's what you got your cat name from.
Know. I'm sorry, man.
That is the weirdest.
Like, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Nice, Steve.
Yep.
Well, I forgot to say thank you again to all the art people for letting me use your art because there's some really cool stuff tonight which I've never seen before.
Look at that. Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, there's a few. But I mean, let's just hop right in because that's what we're here for. So the first question is from Valeria for Kari. What story has impacted Chloe the most from her time entering the city, either having a direct role on it or watching it from her position in EMS?
I'd probably say the situation with Ander. I don't know if a lot of people are aware of what happened with that,
Tell
but
us.
Ander basically was finally let out of his mother's basement after a lot of years and had zero socialization skills. And he wanted to be friends with Chloe, and she was the only person that was really nice to him. So it went from wanting to be friends to becoming like very creepily stalkerish and obsessed kind of thing. And it ended up with her getting stabbed by him multiple times, and then another situation later on where Bambi ended up getting kidnapped by him, and currently he's in Parsons. But this affected Chloe a lot because she has always had the desire to help people, and this was the one person that she felt like there was nothing she could do to actually help. So it's kind of impacted her mentally. She's never been able to not help someone before.
Oh damn. Was that like that kind of situation? Did that push Chloe to look for more? What's I was gonna say psychopath. What's the psychiatrist role? Was that thing is that something you considered for Chloe?
That is something in the beginning I thought Chloe might be good at, but that's not something that I want her to pursue. I made her with the desire for her to always be in EMS. So when I made the character, I basically built her around EMS. There's a part in her story when she was younger where she was in a bad car accident with her grandparents, and she basically had to stabilize them with the one paramedic that was on scene. And that was just kind of like her first look into what paramedics do. And that's why she pursued a career as a paramedic because she wanted to be a first responder to help people because it can really make or break a situation, right?
Yeah, that's some good lore. That's what we come here for. Keep it coming. But no, but yeah, I think there's a question coming up later, but you've just kind of got rid of it. Thanks, Carrie.
My man.
No, but yeah, I think that the whole situation with Ander was crazy. But we'll come back to it because there's a question coming up again because you guys just throw all my questions out there and look. Thanks, Carrie.
Sorry.
It's okay. It's okay. It's okay. No, good answer.
Yelling at me.
We got lore in the first question. That's exactly what I come here for. Even though I already read it because it's on the wiki. But it was so good. All right. Thank you. Next question is from Gentle Strawberry, who asks Airborne. How would you compare Labar to the other judges? Good question.
Labar's egotistical maniac, and the other judges. Okay, so if I break it down, you've got Artson, right? Formerly the district attorney. I hear a lot of people say, well, he's pro cop, things like that, pro law. You've got Coyote, who's a constitutional judge. Bailey is more of like a relaxed, calm judge. Stanton, who's played by African Snowball, his character is slowly turning into like the next Dennis Labar. Started out, excited to be a judge and do bench trials and stuff. And now lately I've seen Buck just kind of like, what the hell's going on here? Like
Yeah.
or bench trials committees like, what did you just say? Things like that. It's you have to look at it this way. Judges, we balance. We're the balancer between good and evil and stuff
Right.
like that. But for Labar, I'll put it this way. Labar views the city as like a chessboard, and he's always making the moves. That's how Labar looks at it.
Yep.
But people just don't really. People back down when Labar talks, and if they really questioned and brought things up, I mean, Labar could lose his job, honestly. But no one really says much about it.
That comment about being a chessboard is like super. I don't know whether it's the right word for like sociopathic, but I didn't expect that.
You've always got to think. Most chess players think what 3 moves ahead. Labar is thinking 5 moves ahead. So yeah.
more scary. But there's a question I was going to ask tonight, so might as well off of that was, what are Chloe and Dennis's thoughts on the people who captured and handed him Bovice?
Ooh. Do you want to take that one first, Chloe or Kari?
Yes, Dennis. All right. So first thing, when Chloe did move into the city, she never really actually got to see firsthand like who Bovice was. She never really knew because by the time she was there, he had already basically escaped. So
Right.
like all she knew was things she had heard about him. She doesn't really, I guess, know a whole lot of what he has done other than that he killed a bunch of people. So she doesn't really have an opinion on, I guess, like who brought him, but she's just glad that he is locked up because of, for example, she was pretty close with Nora, and well, we know how that went. So
Hmm.
she was pretty devastated, and she actually lives by Nora's house, and a lot of the times when she goes by, she'll just kind of like stop and look at it, kind of thing,
Pepe hands.
because she misses Nora, and so she'll just kind of stop and look at the house and be sad. So she's really glad that he got locked up because she doesn't want that to happen to anyone else.
It's very true to character. But does Chloe know the? Because I know Bo. I saw him Reddit and I spoke to him in game a little bit. Bo was in the car. Was that when did Chloe hear about the kind of lead up to how Bovice was captured?
Chloe was later told that he was captured, but she wasn't really told like the how.
For those of you who don't know, Dennis,
I mean,
Airborne,
I know how. Chloe
Uh-huh.
doesn't.
why don't you fill us in for the people who don't know about Bovice?
Okay. So about a month through a month and a half ago, I got a phone call in game, and I could hear Bovice in the background, like struggling. It was really good. And it was Arthur, and he was on the phone with me, and he's like, I have him, and I'm gonna have him for a while because the condition he's in right now, he may not make it. That's that was what was being brought to me was that he could die. And Dennis just kind of brushed it off, like, is this like another setup? Is this is this a chance? Because Bovice, he had no problem with going on Twitter and saying, DOJ, you're next, or Labar, I'm coming for you. So I wasn't gonna Dennis wasn't gonna put himself in a position to where he would be captured or something like that. So it just dropped off. I didn't hear anything about it. So I just let it go as the Chief Justice. So last Saturday, I was in game. I got another phone call, and it was Arthur again. And he said, I need to meet with you. So I went up to the what's the wind power thing? What is that?
The wind farm.
Up there by the prison. Yeah, the wind farm.
Yeah.
I went up there. I pulled up. It was a little scuffed. I couldn't see Arthur, so I had to have this conversation with him on the phone. So we had a conversation on the phone, and he said that the deal is I will turn him over, but the people turning him in are to not be touched. So I thought about it, and I said it's a go. I didn't say anything to anyone, not out of game. I didn't say anything to anyone in game. I didn't alert the police because you guys know how this goes. A lot of times people get a hold of that information. It starts spreading like wildfire. And then we've got, 50 people in prison awaiting Bovice's arrival and, 5 DOC members. But it just so happened that the night that he was turned in. So that I guess Space Boy was on there was DOC people there.
Yeah,
It was
there
actually
was.
like people in game. So a lot of people were like, oh, this was all set up out of character. This was not set up out of character. I was just on the server waiting, and I got a phone call, and they said, meet me at this location. I said, wait, I need to have one cop with me. I can't go there by myself with Bovice. So Daryl, who's played by Slasher, was on the server, and I trusted Daryl would make the right decision as the Chief Justice. So I spoke to Daryl, and some people saw it from my VOD. I did stream that night. Daryl said, well, we need one more cop to know just in case we're going into an ambush. So we got a hold of Andrews. Andrews got, I believe, one more cop, which would be Curtis.
Yeah, McLean.
And maybe another. Yeah, McLean. And then it was a go. So I honestly was waiting for a setup. Like I even said it to my stream. I was like, man, I hope we get ambushed or something. You know, it would be cool. But it went off without a hitch. And it was some good RP behind it. And I appreciate the fact that there weren't people like freaking out over it. And I know in game, a lot of police are like, why weren't we alerted to this? And just sometimes you have to do things a certain way for the role play.
For sure.
It may not sound like it was the best decision, but Bovice is where he needs to be. And with the addition of the Department of Corrections, but that also opened up another floodgate, which I don't know if you're going to have that question later on, about a lot more people wanting to be in prison for life and stuff like that.
I think it could be cool for sure. I just want to come back to that situation. Like, what's Dennis's thoughts on Arthur and the people who had him captured? And
okay, so Dennis doesn't know too much about Arthur. There was a thing he was trying to do. Like, there was a program that he was coming to me about, like a rehabilitation thing for former criminals that would be tied into another group. We had discussed it at length in game, in character. So Dennis doesn't know too much about Arthur. Now, Dennis doesn't. He knows about Aaron. Now, here's the other thing. Dennis isn't dumb. Dennis knows that Aaron is smart, and she portrays herself a way that, from the outside, from people looking at her, she's not the greatest lawyer. She does things and gets in trouble, but she's not what she seems to be. And as for the third person, I can't say because I don't know who the third person was in that group that dropped him off. I don't even know out of character. So yeah. I don't know who was flying. I just know that Arthur was there on the ground. He made the phone call to have the helicopter land. Bovice got out. I don't know. I guess I'm missing one person in that whole thing. I don't know. I don't know if it was Gomer. I don't know.
I think it was Mask, but I'm not sure.
Okay. Yeah. Because I know Gomer's been with that whole thing. And I know that, when Sonya Summers was around, she had her... Is it the Black Widow? Was that what it was? Black Betty. I don't know why I call it Black Widow every time, but Black Betty thing going. And I know I had seen her a couple times and Aaron was around there and Gomer, but I don't know. Like Dennis doesn't know he could tie like Gomer into that and stuff like that. But Dennis definitely knows about Aaron and her involvement at this point.
That was like because like once, I don't know whether you know about this, but once those guys flew off in the helicopter, it was around the time where you both had been dropped off that Ducky called in to the cops that his helicopter had been stolen. So
yeah,
me
how
Angel,
convenient.
Yeah, it was like I think he had to, otherwise
yeah,
it would have been weird. But he still got.
How convenient, Dr. Ducksworth, that your helicopter was stolen. Mm-hmm.
Right, and so we flew up there and we followed the helicopter. 3 people got out. We ended up grabbing Arthur and
right
Erin, but it was a very confusing situation for it because obviously we didn't know a lot.
Of course, and I got a phone call from Forcer.
Yeah,
and she was like, "What do you want me to do?" And Dennis was just like, "What are you talking about?" And then I told her, I said, "I think you'll do the right thing and let them go." I said, if I was you, I would let them go at this point because I couldn't tip Forcer off. And then right after that is when Tony, which is Trooper Andrews, went on the radio and broadcasted to all of PD that Bovice was in custody. And I'm sure a lot of PD that wasn't aware of the situation was like, what? Like, what just happened?
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I'm glad it happened that way because one, obviously there's no meta, but also it's opened up a lot for the few of us in PD who don't agree with Dennis's, like the
Mhm.
whole undercover, like
Mm-hmm.
it's gonna bring some good RP, especially with the way some things are going. Because I
Yeah,
think PD needs some more actual good conflict and discussions, and with DOJ too.
I
So
think so too. I think so. We can always improve
yeah,
as a any faction, criminal, PD, DOJ, you name it. There's always chances to improve, and I think people don't realize that. I think people get set in their ways.
yeah, I'd be interested to. I have seen a bit out of character to bring up that Dark wasn't happy with the whole. He could have had it like been torturing both of us for a month. And then I saw like Raven and like the chief of police and everyone be like, "Well, Dark might have to be reprimanded for that kind of stuff," and I'm like, "Oh god!" But I really want to push that kind of the route of There's a Dark thinks there's a severe lack of empathy in the PD right now, so
Mhm.
it'd be interesting to see where that goes. And Kari, Chloe found me, and she was the only one who came when Dark was in Parsons and was attacked. Chloe was the only
did.
person who came.
As Dennis, I wanted to go up to Parsons. They were like, "Hey, Dark's up there. Do you want to go?" And I was just like, "What could I do to fuck with Dark's head?" Like that's what Dennis's instant thing was. And then I saw something with Wayward's character, the
Yeah.
Joker. He was up on the roof,
That was
and I
so
was like,
good.
"That's what Dennis would have done." But the Joker took care of it. So, yeah, yeah. I see some people in your chat like, "Oh my fucking god" and stuff, but it's like,
Dennis is
yeah, Dennis is he's a little out there. So,
secretly
but
evil.
ultimately that will eventually lead to the downfall of Dennis at some point, but not in so much a criminal
Right.
matter.
Yeah.
You know, I'm not going to be like, "Ooh, $279 million in the state funds. I'm taking it and I'm out of here." You know, like I wouldn't. That's just dumb. You know, like
That's what
that.
Chloe would do.
Yeah,
What?
maybe.
Okay. No,
Yeah.
good answers. We'll,
Yep.
we'll try and get through these questions because there's a lot.
Sure.
Carby draws for both of you. What would your characters be like in an alternate universe where they had each other's jobs?
That go ahead. I'll let you answer first.
Sorry, that makes me laugh because I really don't think that Dennis would have the patience to do
You
Chloe's
wouldn't.
job. I really think he would go nuts the first week doing Chloe's job. But I don't know. For Chloe, she doesn't really. I mean, I guess if she was a judge, she would have studied and would have that knowledge. But at the moment, she doesn't really have the knowledge to be a judge of like laws and everything. So at the moment, if she were to do his job, she would be really bad.
You'd be too nice to
but
everybody. Chloe would be just like,
but
okay,
yeah,
you can go.
I feel like she'd be very very nice, and that would probably get her burnt in many ways. You know what I mean? Like it wouldn't end well for her. I think
I think it would be good because Chloe has a mean side, and you don't want to upset Chloe.
she does. Not many people realize that Chloe actually has a mean side. Like everyone thinks she's just rainbows and sunshines all the time, but like Chloe has a very mean side. Yeah, zombie in your chat. Bambi's had to get Chloe's mean side before. It's not fun.
I'm glad that I haven't, but I feel like Dennis might shortly. Things because
Wait, what?
I'm just
What did
I'm
Dennis
just
do?
I'm just saying Dennis is Dennis, right?
Yeah,
I think
Dennis has learned his lesson previously when it comes to relationships and playing a joke on your fiance and selling her car to Mr. Payne for $1. uh, that started the downfall of that one with Choi, of course,
I
Dennis and
didn't
Choi.
realize that was
But
the
yeah,
reason.
that was one of the reasons. Yeah, yeah.
Nice. What about
All right.
Dennis as an EMS?
Oh my God. I would probably be fired in less than a week. Because of having an ambulance that has sirens and lights on it. I would probably break every law imaginably
my
possible
God.
while just waiting to go to the next patient. Because hey, I don't know. I don't know. That's a really hard question to answer. If Dennis was EMS, I mean, Dennis already does a lot of stuff that saves people lives anyways in different ways. But I think it would be an interesting role, but I just don't know how long Dennis could hang on to it because of his thought process. You know, Dennis has a hard time taking orders from others. That's why he's the Chief
Chief
Justice.
Justice.
Yeah.
Like,
No one, I only answer to one person, and it's the sloth god, really.
hell yeah. Jealous. But I just feel like we need to see Dennis as an EMS now.
I want to
I
touch on
just
one
don't
thing.
know. If I could wear a
Um,
cowboy hat, sure.
Go for it,
I
Kari.
mean, we do actually allow hats in EMS if it's something that's like to do with your character and not just I want to wear a silly hat. So that wouldn't be totally impossible for him to wear a hat since it's more of a character thing.
It's a religion for
But
Dennis.
yeah, basically. But I wanted to touch on what Proxen said about, oh, you shot 4 cops, but you regret it. Okay, you can go free, as if that's Chloe. The thing about Chloe that a lot of people don't understand is she plays oblivious a lot of the times because she doesn't really want to be privy to things, but she's not stupid. Like she's not actually stupid. She's actually quite smart. And she knows what's going on a lot of the time. She knows what kind of things people are up to. She just pretends she doesn't because the less she knows, the better.
Wait, what? With all these secret, like, smart characters that I don't know about, and they've
Listen,
been
I'm not saying she's like ridiculously smart, but I'm just saying she's not stupid. She's not actually
Mhm.
oblivious. She knows what's
There's-
going on around her. But as an EMS, she needs to remain as impartial as she can. If she sees it, as in if someone's stupid enough to do it in front of her, of course she has to report it. But otherwise, if she hears about it, then she's just going to be like, I'm just going to pretend I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I can kind of allude on that. Like non PD, so we're government workers, right?
Mm.
We a lot of times you have to feel out the situation. People come running up to me on the courthouse steps so many times, and I see them come running, and I'm just like, oh shit, what now? You know, like that's Dennis, and they come up and they're like, I just saw somebody do this. I'm like, okay, call a cop. Like, call a cop. I did. No one responded. I'm like, okay, then go down to PD and wait on a cop. Like, there's so many things that you have to brush aside and forget about to let the role play continue on. You know, like when people come up and they say, "Oh, this guy, he's extorting people and this and that," but I'm like, then go tell the police. But they
Right.
don't tell the police. They come to the Chief Justice, the highest authority in the city, government-wise, right? But they won't tell the police, so they don't give the police that RP. They don't give the police that interaction. So this continues for months, and you know it's continuing for months, but nobody says anything. So that's how we, like what she was saying, we're privy to a lot of stuff, but we don't talk about it. It's because if the people did the right thing and went to the police and there was an investigation and things like that, then it could take down a criminal empire, but people just don't do it. They'd rather
Yeah.
run right to the Chief Justice and
Right.
think he's going to put a cape on and go flying down to, you know, the South Side and fix the problem. It just doesn't happen that way.
And we need Dennis in the cape. He's giving all the artwork to people. But no, you're right. I think
I would pay for that.
there's so there's so much in character stigma against the PD. It's funny sometimes. Even like civilians who won't even talk to the police. It's funny and it's sad at the same time.
Yeah, it's funny they'll run to the Chief Justice, but not to an officer to give a report.
Right.
I've
And they
also had
say, well,
people
my
run to-
character's loyal. They'll say my character's loyal, but they're not, because they're spreading everything out on the streets and they're spreading it to the Chief Justice. There is no loyalty there, in my opinion, when you go and run into the court and want to do that. Now, if it's a court case or something like that, yeah. But it's tough, because if you get labeled as a snitch, I mean, you know how it is.
Yeah.
Yikes.
I know how it is.
Oh no.
True.
Ba-da-ba-ba-da-ba.
Oh, Chloe.
Chloe knows so that.
That was such a good situation. I think, like, overall, it was a cool
Fucking
little
Eugene.
story. Fucking Eugene. But we got him, though.
Fucking Eugene.
We got him. Although
I was surprised though that there wasn't a court case that came out of that.
me too.
There was.
Wait, there was?
There was supposed to be, but okay. So then, listen, like it gets frustrating. But there was supposed to be a court case, and then the court server was down, and the DDoS attacks, and I'm not going to address it like that. But you know how it is.
Oh.
Things just they get washed up. Yeah.
Yeah, I didn't even
Isn't
realize.
that
I thought
it cuts into time frame, and when court cases get drug out for over a month trying to get them scheduled, people forget things a lot of times. You know how it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. Mhm.
I think that's one of the problems of the server is that people and characters forget so quickly. Like someone mentioned it on stream the other day. You'll get stabbed one day and they'll be best friends the next.
Yeah.
It's both. That's just NoPixel in a nutshell, I think.
Or they'll come in for a bench trial. They remember everything up to the shooting, but they don't remember pulling the trigger.
True.
And they tested positive for GSR. You know.
I do not recall. But Dennis, can we get a gun license? Okay, sorry. I won't.
No.
Sorry. Next question
Denied.
is from Rev Magic Don Juanovan for Airborne.
What kind of name is that?
I don't know. But
Can
I
we
love
just
it.
address the name? All right.
It's a very good name.
Okay. All right. Go ahead.
Airborne, who is your least favorite person on the server, and why is it Choi?
Ooh. Is this a character question? Because
You can answer it however.
listen.
you
Okay. So I don't have a least favorite. I mean, that's. I enjoy my interactions with everybody. Dennis may act like he doesn't give a shit, but that's because half the time Dennis just looks at most of the server population or the city population as a bunch of peasants who want a bunch of handouts.
Yeah.
Just like the king, the ruler over the land. But I don't have a least favorite. That's just not me,
No, I don't.
So,
I don't. Yeah,
Mhm.
I don't think
Yeah.
they thought you did. I think it was just it was a dig.
Well, okay, I'm seeing one name in chat, Callow. Callow is no.
Everybody
I take
loves
it back.
Callow.
Listen, I love the character. I love that he basically takes L's all day and just keeps coming back for more. And with Hobbit Trash's character Caden basically having her grip on him, it's been amazing to watch the antics across the street from the courthouse. And I do appreciate the time that he does put in for lawyer work and going down to MRPD and representing people.
Right.
He's a diamond in the rough, in my opinion.
For sure. He's new,
Yep.
right? He's like
He's newer. He's been around for a while, but he just one of those that he just plucked out of, he just joined the server and is really good at law work. I know he deals with a lot of stuff IRL outside. And it's hard for lawyers outside people who have a very vast knowledge of law IRL to come into NoPixel and have to relearn everything and learn that we do things different for role play. And I think he's caught on to it probably the quickest
Yes.
out of any attorney who actually has a legal background outside the
he's so good at being good in the right situations and then not being good at his job in the right situations too. Like sometimes he's a really good lawyer, but then there's other times where it's just he does it because it's funny. I mean,
honestly think he throws court cases just for the people who are he's representing to come after him. That's what I think he does.
yeah,
But yeah,
he's a selfless role player.
listen, the time that he's been on the server, Jerry's been accused of the Mirror Park Predator. He's been kidnapped by the Fat Gang and had his fingers deep fried. I've seen him shot and blown up numerous times across the courthouse. He's had numerous relationships that end with him just. I could go on I could probably speak for like 3 or 4 hours on Jerry. Yeah.
He's seriously like he takes L's like a champ, and
He does,
like
and that's
that,
hard to find.
It really is.
That's hard to find.
Fair play to him. Seriously.
Mhm.
Okay, next question. Good answers. Eyeball Zach asks both of you, how do you decide how to build a character? Who wants to go first?
Ooh. How would I decide how to build a character?
Yeah, so I guess when you came up with Dennis or Pistol Pete?
Okay, so I'll use Pistol Pete, right? Before I joined NoPixel, I was a viewer. I didn't stream any of that stuff, and I watched Vader. I watched Sir Pinkerton. I guess he's just now Sir Pink. I watched Mervin, Katie. I watched a few of the cop streams, and I always noticed that like people were like they just wanted to snitch all the time. Like as soon as something happened, they wanted to snitch. So when I made Pistol Pete and I joined NoPixel, I said, the one thing that Pete will do is he will be loyal to one person. He will never rat out that one person like a brother. And I was on the server for about a week and a half, and I had an interaction with Vader, which led me to interact with Blizzy HD, who is Chow, right? And I know a lot of people remember Chow. And that's where the whole Pistol Pete and Chow thing formed. But I told Chow from day one I would never stab him in the back. And that's what Pete told him. And the rest is history on that. So I think a lot of people, when you build a character, you have to remember that to develop that character inside the city. Don't develop this character so much outside the city. So when you come in, you know everything. I see a lot of times there's a lot of lack of character development. And I scratch my head with it a bunch. Like when you create a new character, you shouldn't know how to go rob the vault, or you shouldn't know how to, I've seen people's like, oh, I'm a criminal mastermind.
Yeah.
But I mean, if you're a good role player, you should be able to develop that character based off the server and how the server meta is and how things are currently going, It's like I watch a lot of gangs, and sometimes there's people that know how to do everything, and it's like, take a back seat, let someone be the thermite guy, let somebody
Exactly, sure.
yeah
It's
things like
definitely
that.
something I want to see more of. Is I want to something I was kind of talking to you at the start, but I want to like have like plan heists and stuff, but then hire people, like maybe newer people or people who are
Yeah.
known for certain things, and then kind of mix up the groups a little bit. Like you will see, like Changang will do a job together, or Vargos, but try and like mix and match and put people together that haven't role played together much before, and kind of see where it goes.
And another big thing to remember is when there's new people, you can guide and direct those people the right way. Don't just toss them off to the side and be like, I don't know who you are. Like I see a lot of role players that give new people chances. I got my chance. Vader and Blizzy could have been like, who the hell is this guy? Like, I don't know this dude. First time ever meeting him, but they didn't, And I've always mentioned that when people would come to my stream and be like, well, how did you become, get to that point and level on NoPixel? Because someone gave me a chance, someone offered the olive branch and I took it. So as a new role player, and I never role played before even coming to NoPixel, I just sat back and shut my mouth a lot and watched and learned.
Yeah.
And a lot of people need to do that sometimes.
For sure.
Mhm.
Yeah, I mean, Kari, is that something you enjoyed? Because I mean, I'm sure as EMS you get to run into a lot of new players because they probably get hurt more than that's. Although there is cops, there is Ziggy's on the server, so maybe not. But is that something you enjoy, like interacting with the newer players?
So the thing about EMS, and it's basically the main thing that made me want to become an EMS, because when I joined the server, EMS apps were open, but I didn't apply right away because I wanted to figure out, the mechanics and everything and just kind of get used to it before I did. But the reason I always wanted to become an EMS and knew I wanted to do it before I even got accepted was the fact that as an EMS, you have the privilege of you get to meet everybody.
Right.
Like
Yeah.
in your line of work, you get to meet all kinds of characters. And I think that that's a rare thing because a lot of characters, not all of them, but a lot of characters are hard to get to know.
For sure.
And as an EMS, I'm not saying that they're going to open up and tell us everything, but you build some kind of like relationship with them, some kind of trust. Not that they're going to come and tell you, like, I'm going to go rob this bank,
Yeah.
but they see you and they feel like they can trust you, kind of thing. And that's rare because criminals usually kind of stick to that circle. And so I feel like as an EMS, it's kind of special because you get to know all kinds of characters. Like even though Chloe and Eugene are kind of on the rocks right now, they had a funny relationship for a while. And I don't think that gets to happen with like PD and Eugene, for example. They have funny
Right.
relationships, but Eugene and Chloe would always like pretend they're married and fight
Oh,
about Chloe's always working and stuff like that. Never has time for the family. Like just fun interactions like that.
no, I think it's definitely one of the. Maybe that's one thing that people don't realize as much as that as AMS you do get to meet a hell of a lot of people. And it's something I'm definitely jealous of as PD because most of the time we're kind of stuck with criminals. I don't say stuck, but especially with lowering slots and things, we're kind of stuck responding to calls all the time. But I love just kind of hanging out with and meeting the civilians. Because there's so many really unique and interesting characters that are new and haven't settled into maybe like a criminal life yet, so I haven't got to run into them. So yeah, AMS is definitely one of those ones that if you're listening and you're on NoPixel, there you go. I haven't given it a go. It's the one thing I haven't given a go yet.
Yeah, the thing about EMS that a lot of people think is like that they don't really have a lot of action and stuff going on. But some days that's true. I can go days where like I'm on duty for 5 hours and I had maybe 3 calls and it's quiet.
Holy crap.
Or I can go days where it's just nonstop calls and
Yeah,
people shooting each other. It honestly depends. But at the end of the day, this is a role play server, and as long as you are going out there and making an effort and not expecting the role play to just come to you, whether you have 3 calls in 5 hours or 20 calls in 5 hours is irrelevant.
for sure. The last time I really put my mind to it and tried to make a roleplay scenario for some other people, that's when Fiona ended up getting shot as Man Bear Pig, and then Eugene came after. So I haven't done it since.
I'm sorry. Oh man, you had Dennis scratching on that one. Eugene came to me about the warrant, and I'm like, look, I'm just gonna put the warrant off to the side for a little bit until Dark, figures his life out. Yeah.
That was no regrets. Definitely no regrets on that one.
I mean,
that was something else.
just picture Dark sitting at home with a beer going, that was one hell of a day.
At Parsons with an orange juice. That was a hell of a day, Jesus Christ.
Yeah. Best job I ever had. Man Bear Pig.
Oh, I completely forgot about the question. Chloe, how do you decide how to put a character?
Well, I actually I come from writing communities, like back on like MySpace, Neopets forums, Gaia Online, like basically I did a lot of writing roleplay, and I kind of have like a template of stuff I go to. So I basically figure out everything I want about the character, from like name to height to weight to ethnicity, like everything. I go over every single little detail, personality traits, likes, dislikes, everything. I because well, I do understand like you don't want to plan everything and want to kind of develop your character in the city. And for the most part, that's what I've done with Chloe. But I feel like it's crucial to just kind of like come up with a backstory as to what made your character up until they moved to Los Santos.
Yeah,
If that makes sense.
I completely agree with that. But yeah, there's a lot of people. I think I mentioned this on another episode that backstory gives you an initial base of how your character reacts to things, versus it just being, oh, this is how I react to things, so this is how my character's going to react to things. Which I think is maybe a problem with a lot of the newer role players who, people point them out and be like, that isn't a character or whatever. And it's probably because they haven't really thought about backstory and really thought, how is this character going to react to this situation differently than I'm going to react to it? But at the same
No, I
time,
get that.
I really agree with like the whole developing your character in the server, because like having just, I guess it's more about letting your character be affected by the situations. You have to make that conscious effort to be like, okay, this happened to them. How has that changed them, right? But especially on NoPixel, there's a lot happens to your character very quickly. I found.
Oh yeah.
So there's a lot of development to be had, especially with being kidnapped and everything all the time. There's a lot.
Oh my god. So I do agree that developing your character in the server is good, but I think it's beneficial to kind of have a background that kind of led your character up until the point that they moved to Los Santos. Because I've run into people all the time when I'm just kind of like, "Hey, you know what brings you here? Why'd you move to Los Santos?" And they're like, "I don't know." I'm
Mm,
just
Yeah,
like,
yeah, I'm a stickler
"Cool,
for that one.
I do
When
it
they
all
come
the
in for
time.
like
cool, all
when they
right."
come in for like a weapons license, they're like, "Oh, I'm former military," and I'm like, "Got him." And I just because
Of
I have
course you do.
I am former
Yeah.
military, like and I'm like, "So, what MOS were you?" And they're like, "Huh?" And I'm like research it. And I think some people are scared to research because they're like someone's going to accuse them of like stolen valor or something. But
Right.
man, if you've got a military veteran character that you want to play, research it, figure it out. I mean, I've had people ask me, they're like, Airborne, I know you're in the military. Can you give me a little like pointers for this?
That's
And I'll
awesome.
tell them. When as veterans, there's a lot of veterans in NoPixel. They're not gonna, come to you and be like, you shouldn't be playing that character, but just have some kind of like background history, like what operations were you on or something, like another guy the other day was like, well, I was a tank commander. I'm like, oh, what MOS is that? And he's like, it's classified. I'm like, like,
That's a good answer.
and Dennis is just like slash me, rolls eyes and walks away, but
Yeah.
yeah. And I agree with that. You can develop a lot of the character outside, but there's a way to develop inside. 100%.
I think everybody should go
Well,
for
the
both.
reason I think the background is kind of like what I gotta scroll up and find it because everyone's spamming. Where is it? It's lost. What I can't remember who said it, but they basically said that backstory. Oh yeah, it's Chang Sos. I'm really good with names. But they said backstory is the foundation for a character's identity. That's basically why I think backstories are crucial. It just kind of what happened to your character to bring them up until where you start them in Los Santos. So I feel
Agreed.
like having that, foundation is good, but don't like go into it being like my character's going to be a crime boss because like
Yeah.
you never know what's going to happen to your
Mhm.
character. Shit happens every day. And if anyone watched from like the beginning when I first started playing Chloe up until now, she has changed a lot. Like she's still very optimistic and kind, but she doesn't take as much shit anymore. She will actually speak up for herself and won't just roll over and take it anymore.
Oh yeah.
So that's something that was developed through role play, through being in Los Santos, through what she had to go through up until now, kind of thing. And she still every day shit happens and things change her. And that's just kind of how it is. She gotta roll with the punches.
How did that? I'll kind of go off that. How did the whole situation with Eugene mess with Chloe?
Um, she isn't as trusting of people anymore. Like she's not stupid, going off what I said before. She had an idea of what Eugene did. She just never had any confirmation or anything of it, but she had ideas because she's seen things. And even though she saw those things, she just kind of always felt like as an EMS and what she does, not that she wasn't touchable, but just that like there was that level of respect between like her and criminals where you just
Right.
kind of you don't. You know what I mean? You don't touch them.
Don't touch.
They're doing they're just doing their job. So it's kind of been like there's certain people that are criminals that she does trust, but for the most part, she's like a lot more wary about who she will trust and talk to now in terms of people that are criminals. She doesn't really open up to a lot of people anymore. She has trust issues.
Yeah. Fucking Eugene.
Oh,
Eugene.
fucking
You old
Eugene.
dirty bastard.
Yeah. Yeah, he
You're not
is.
getting your lighthouse.
Oh my
Maybe.
god.
That question's coming up later. No spoilers.
Oh, I'll discuss that one.
Okay, good answers though. Thank you. Odin. That's the next question. Kari has a storyline with Ander. I put Anders because that's for how Odin spelled it. Blame change any of Chloe's personality or worldviews. So like we started discussing it earlier, but let's start.
So it did change Chloe's personality because she's always had the desire to help people, and he was just kind of the one person that even though she met him with nothing but kindness and optimism and everything and did her best. Like even when he stabbed her and went to Parsons the first time, she was just like she wasn't mad at him. She didn't hate him. She was just kind of like, I hope he can get the help he needs.
Right.
And even to this day, she tries to kind of keep that view where she's like, I hope he can get the help he needs. But the other side of her, because of what she's gone through, she hates him. And so that's something she struggles with between hating him and wanting him to get help.
Gee. What I mean, like obviously we had the situation with Bambi. Then did that kind of make the
Situation
relationship
with
worse?
Bambi kind of pushed her more
Right.
towards the hating him. And
Yeah.
it definitely didn't help with the fact that after the whole situation when everything happened with Bambi, that Bambi, continued to go and visit him and was just kind of like brainwashed, even though that was kind of like temporary. She had Stockholm syndrome and it didn't last that long, but that didn't help matters either. And it put Chloe in a spot where like she was trying to understand, but it wasn't something that she was able to wrap her head around. So she wants him to get help and she wants him to be okay, but she doesn't think it's possible. And she struggles between I want to help him and I want him to be okay, and I hate his guts and I don't give a fuck.
Right.
Is where she basically struggles with Ander.
Gotta be like is that like a first for Chloe? Like hating someone? Is that like a second? Because I've seen that
Uh,
backstory.
That's like a second.
Yeah. What's that guy's name? Kessel?
Kessler.
Kessler, there we go. Did my research. Thanks, NoPixel Week.
I wrote that.
No, but wasn't because Chloe and Bambi were like, you said childhood friends? Was that right?
They met in high school. So kind of.
This is kind of a question that's coming up later, but I'm really interested to know. Would Chloe ever go? Okay, so would, and also, what would it have to be to make Chloe go dark? Go down a dark path of maybe not wanting to help people anymore.
So I feel like every day she kind of gets pushed more and more towards that direction, just with the way the server is kind of thing, with the state of the server right now,
Right.
and the fact that everyone's just so quick to shoot each other. I feel like that just kind of pushes her towards the dark side, where she's just kind of like, what's the point in helping people? They're just going to end up back in here. You know what I mean? They're just going to shoot each other again. But I think for her to kind of get to that point where like she's probably going to need some therapy because she's just kind of like broken, is going to be someone who's like extremely close to her, being to the point that like they're probably going to die or they do die. Don't get any ideas, you son of a.
Got him.
Like his way.
No.
We just scripting roleplay here, so let's do it.
Damn it.
Let me get my clipboard out.
Because I don't know if you guys know, but when the whole thing happened with Cross when he got shot, that was a moment for Chloe where she just kind of she didn't completely break, but she was close to it. And while he did end up being fine, and then he ended up being okay. He had to go through recovery and stuff, but she was still at the point where like it was hard for her to do her job because she just kind of they didn't know who did it. So she was just kind of like every person she was helping, she was like, is this the person that shot him? Is this the person that shot him? Like you never know. So it was hard for her to do her job. She did it, but it was hard.
I think that kind of stuff is something. Now I've kind of been through it with Dark. Is like having people in government, I guess, jobs struggling with it, and to go into like therapy and things, which I know I'm really interested in now because it adds a hell of a lot of depth to characters, and I really want to see how different characters do it and react to it. So I want to see Dark Chloe. I want to see like Chloe with like black hair, like ghost,
I
like
actually
shadow.
joked about doing that once where I just had her dye her hair black and then put on like really thick black makeup and like black lipstick and see if anyone recognizes
You should.
her.
You definitely
Just like
should.
for shits and giggles one day, just see if anyone recognizes Chloe. It'd be great.
It definitely
But
would.
therapy RP is something that I've always wanted to kind of try, but my problem is, and a lot of people, don't have this happen, but for me, as a storyteller who's come from like writing communities and this, I get very into it and I'll legitimately cry. Like I will feel things
No,
like
that's
if everyone watched the stream and stuff when everything happened with Surge, I was like legitimately bawling my eyes out. Like I have no control over it. I feel the emotions and it kind of happened. And so I just feel like therapy RP might be interesting, but I don't know if anyone would actually be able to understand me through the bawling.
bawling. No, I get it though. Like
I don't think anyone would be able to understand Chloe through all the crying.
it's draining, dude. That kind of role play, that emotional stuff is. I love it, but it's fucking draining.
Oh, I personally love it. I prefer like slow burn, like story, very intense stuff, emotional stuff over the just kind of like let's rob a bank 5 times in one day kind of role play. To each their own, but I prefer that more serious role play. It's
No, I
kind
agree.
of
I'm on
why
the
I
same.
got into role playing. I enjoy it when it's more like that.
What about you, Airborne? What's your preference on role play style? I guess I don't know.
I think both styles are okay. I'm more of a story driven, but as for like Dennis, I would love to see in depth like stories which have been previously done on NoPixel, like with bigger investigations and bigger court cases, like things like that. But I also understand the importance of like the fast paced kind of
Right.
role play as well, to keep the server going, to keep things pushing forward. I see the importance of both styles of role play, but you can still have fast paced stuff inside of a longer story.
I agree.
I
Sure.
Yeah, I think a lot of people don't look at it that way. I'm not one to sit back and judge people's role play and go, man, I don't know why you're robbing a bank 5 to 10 times a day, but uh, and I know that rarely happens, but I think there's an importance for both styles, and I think both styles can be incorporated into a story.
I
Basically,
just brought
that's
that up because I, as people know, have played Coco, and I've had periods where like she basically just robbed shit.
Criminal.
So I'm just saying, if I had to go through like my experiences and the kinds of stories I've gone through, I generally prefer the more story driven ones than let's rob things. Now, if you like plot out, doing the vault or something, and don't just be like, let's do the vault. I love that. Like
Me
I
too.
like the planning, and like I haven't seen it as much recently, but I haven't been watching a lot of streams. But I remember when Changgang used to do like the vault and stuff a lot, and they'd actually like have planned getaways. Like they'd stop here and jump down onto this other vehicle, and like that shit is just very intriguing to me. I
yeah,
think
Awesome.
it's cool to have all
it
that plotting going into it.
yeah, it's good to see them plan it on the server. You know, they get together
Yes.
and they'll plan it for 3 hours, and it does take planning. Um, it's good to see that incorporated into role play versus, all right, we're gonna get a hostage, we're running right to the vault, and that's the old way.
Yeah.
Now there's a series of things you have to do, and that brings more role play into it. You got to go to somebody to get something. We need this card. We need this to do this. We need someone to be good at this. Getaway drivers, like you said, or the time that they jumped down on top of a dump truck or something, if I remember correctly. All sorts of different things. Or when they jumped up onto the roof and Stoner Minder's character, Frederick Murphy, was sitting there with a truck and with a helicopter, and they stuck the landing. Like it's moments like that keep people coming back.
Yeah, it's intense.
Things like that.
Yeah.
Yep.
That's the one thing I really enjoy about the vault now, is that it has that build up again. It's not like being hit we were getting it every day, right? And now it's like every week. So it's like, oh shit.
Yeah, there's risk versus reward,
Yeah.
Like, are you willing to risk it all for this? Are your characters willing to risk it weekly for this and then get caught? And then is there going to be a court case about this because someone got shot? Or there's a bunch of things that are involved in this. And I think sometimes we get lost inside of that when we're on the server role playing, and we need to think about that.
For sure. I think one of the things that's important to realize now is that back when it was 32 slots, when we were playing on NoPixel GTA when it just came out, I don't know. Actually, I haven't asked you this. How long have you guys been playing NoPixel?
I joined almost a year ago, I believe. December 12th, 2017 is when I joined NoPixel, and I never role played before I came to NoPixel. So yeah,
17 or 18?
2017, so almost 2 years now.
2 years, nice, dude.
Yeah.
What about you, Kari? Kari?
Right. For me, I'm actually still. I haven't even been here for a year. I joined February 24th.
Baby.
I'm still baby.
No,
Listen, I'm tired, all right? Listen, and
No.
people are like, that's 2 years the bar. Listen, okay? Cut me some slack, okay?
Yeah, I'm tired
Jeez.
too. Cut me some. Just let Kari do. Kari.
Yeah. Yeah. You get to answer the rest. You can answer them for me.
I'm gonna fight you if you don't learn. to
All right,
say my
calm down,
name.
kids. All right.
No.
Now,
Control your chat.
what was I saying? I don't remember what I was saying. You
I don't
may
remember.
forget. Oh yeah, back when it was 32 slots, like we didn't have. This was way before any kind of boom. I can't even remember who the biggest streamer was at the time. It was probably Coil. To be fair, we had 32 slots
For 32 slots?
Yeah,
It depended on the time of day.
true, very true.
Yep. Mhm.
But like, I guess what I'm saying is now that it's 80 slots and with post boom, we are a platform at this point, as well as it has to be said, as the server is a business, right? It's a lot of people's jobs. It's a workplace that a lot of people have to thrive in, and when people complain or make comments, which happens, I've made them about kind of certain types of roleplay and how they've been affecting the server. You have to take a perspective of what people want to watch and supply and demand and how people want to roleplay, right? And so I've come to the realization that NoPixel is the best server because it accommodates so many different kinds of roleplay. You get people who are
Agreed.
super slow burn, which is fantastic, and then you get people who just are super fast paced, and it's the fact that those two can fit in the same world is what makes it so good.
Yeah, and I feel right now a lot of the slow burn people get overlooked by the fast paced stuff.
For sure.
Yeah, and it doesn't bother me, but it's almost like it's a shame that happens.
No, I'm in agreement.
It's tricky, yeah, because with 32 player, like when I did the Pete, I was with Pete and Chow and Kudo and Vinny and so many people were involved in that whole thing. Snow and Jenny and Ripley, when Ripley was a deputy for the Blaine County Sheriff's Office, and even Sheriff Tribble, and just that whole storyline. But it was easier, I felt, to incorporate all those people with a smaller server base. I don't know if that makes sense to people or not.
No, it does. Yeah, because when it goes for another thing of like having the police not be able to respond to slow burn criminals because they're too busy responding to fast paced store robberies is a perfect example.
Hard to do.
And it's something I'm going to bring up to BD myself because I think I'm not going to just talk about it on stream anymore. I want to like actually try and make a difference about it. And that's like, I don't think, maybe this isn't the place to say, but who cares? Whatever. It's I don't think dropping slots from 8 to 6 was a good roleplay decision. And I was thinking about, for some reason, I was thinking about it in the shower this morning before my exam. So good time to be, instead of studying. Was like bringing. I guess this is just an example. There's probably other examples, so I'm sorry to PD for bringing this up, but like bringing it down to 6 is not only bad for PD because the PD people who want to roleplay as cops can't have their fun because they have to wait in another queue to get on duty. But it also sucks for the civs as well because people go without response, or the smaller, like again, people are trying to do slow burn and when they get investigated, that's not going to happen as much because of the slots decrease. So I think there needs to be on the server overall. There needs to be a hell of a lot more focus on. Okay, this is a change that needs to be made, but is it good for roleplay? I guess another example is like the range on weapons. I don't know whether you guys have seen it. It's a bit.
No, I don't know anything about it.
It's a bit.
Yeah, I don't know either.
They're a bit long right now. The range, at least what I've seen, and I don't think. I guess I don't know. It does.
I think.
Go on.
No, I'm sorry. I didn't mean to cut you off. I thought you were done there. Go ahead and finish.
No,
and then I'll
it's
give my
just
little input.
it's not much of a role play decision.
Right. I think it's one of those things where changes get made and then you balance it from there.
Mhm.
Changes get made, you balance it. You're constantly balancing. And that, like with the DOJ, we balance a lot of stuff. We change stuff. This law has been changed. This time and fines have been changed. As the server evolves, you have to be able to develop and evolve the server. If you don't, then things fall flat. And I think Coil does an excellent job, and so do the developers and the trust members and staff members and the community. Everybody as a whole brings things up and gives ideas on what could be changed. And I think in order to move forward, people have to be able to adapt to the changes and not be so negative.
Right.
We get a lot of negativity, like, well, why did this happen? And I can't do this now. Just, try to be positive about things and not think of it so much in a negative light, because then that kind of spills over into other people and then their chats and then, Reddit and then the community members. And then, and then you've got a nightmare on your hands. I'm a big believer in giving change a chance and
Sure.
just sit back a little bit, lay low, see how things go. Things will get changed. You've got to learn to be reactive, but you also got to try to remain proactive as well.
For sure. I think, being positive.
Yes.
And then being constructive, I think.
Of course.
Good things.
Yep. And a lot of people need to be able to take criticism and treat it in a constructive manner as well. That's a big one.
Yeah, because I think we can all do better. Everyone on the server can, no matter who you are, everyone can improve. Everyone's at different levels of different things.
Yeah, nobody's untouchable. No one's a god. No, people. If you sit back at the end of the day and go, man, what could I have done differently today to be better in role play? And if you go back and you watch some of your VODs or you look at your interaction with somebody and you could have been like, I could have done this differently, or I could have given this person a better chance. I could have been not so harsh on this person. There's all sorts of things.
Sure.
Yep.
And Kari gets a lot of hate when she tackles everybody outside Pillbox, I'm sure.
What?
Yeah.
she's not even paying attention. Thanks, Kari.
Head injuries. No.
I actually don't. A lot of people like that.
No,
I've been a victim of that every day,
It's one of those things though where the tackling is fun, but sometimes people get a little carried away with it.
Yeah, agreed.
Yeah, Kari.
Listen, I do it once.
You're the problem child, all right?
Shut up. Can't even say my name.
And that's when
Kari.
you might need to see a server announcement from me standing around garage queue playing grab asses and cutting it. Go out and RP. And then you just see everybody's gone,
Nice.
So,
everyone scatters like cockroaches.
there's a time for that, and then there's a time not for it. 10 minutes after a server restart, I don't feel is the time to do that stuff. So yeah, it's my opinion.
Oh yeah. Head it hit first. Well, head it hit probably 20 times now. All right.
Yeah.
Next question. We got on such tangents. I love it. 15 True Lou. Kari, why did you become an EMS? And why is it your favorite? What is your favorite part of the job?
I felt like I answered this.
You kind of did already.
Yeah, I kind of did. So I became an EMS because I like the fact that you get to meet all kinds of characters on the server doing your job. It's literally like my favorite part of it as well. You get to meet anyone and everyone just by doing your job.
Hell yeah. Easiest question
Hell yeah.
answered ever. Nice. Next one is from Frogbound, actually. NoPixel's own, who asked, Airborne, what would Labar do if there were no repercussions for 1 hour?
Oh god.
Well, Labar would go back to his apartment over at Integrity. He would get his pile of C4 out and go have some fun. No, what would Labar do if there was no repercussions for 1 hour? Man, I would probably line all my judges up at the courthouse and shoot them all in the head. Yeah, every one of them.
No
and then go for the
opposition.
chief of police. And then probably string Soze up at one of the cranes and let him dangle there for a while. Yep. That's what I would do.
Nice. It's, before the stream, that's definitely not what I would have expected from Labar, but I've learnt more.
Listen, if I could have a parade every day like they do in North Korea in front of the courthouse and like line up all the citizens and with PD, EMS, all the lawyers and just march them down the street with like some tanks, and they'd have to salute me, I would do it, but I can't.
I'd be there. I'd do it.
Oh my god.
Yep.
Kari, we have to make that happen now. See how I got your name right that time?
I know.
God, I'm so good at this.
I've joked about it many times about, why aren't there parades for Labar in front of the courthouse? What's going on here?
Not a joke.
Yeah. We can make it happen.
We could, but we won't. We'll do it in private and we won't tell you about it until it happens.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Prize ruined. Next question is from Gentle Strawberry again. Kari, I think we might have answered this one. Kari, just literally ruining all my questions. Does being an EMS have any mental impact on Chloe?
Yes, it does. That was a yes or no question.
Okay, we kind of did answer this already, but
yeah, I kind of did.
yeah. Well, let's just go next. All right.
But yes, it
Okay,
really
listen,
does.
Kari, listen. This is we gotta jack this out. So it means you gotta answer questions without answering questions. Okay, be political. Thank you. Next question is from Junior325 for both of you. What's been your favorite storyline that you've been involved with?
Mm-hmm. You want me to go?
Go for it.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so it would be Norman Bones on the old NoPixel. A lot of people don't remember that Pistol Pete and Norman Bones. Norman was after Pete for a very, very long time. It was a game of like cloak and dagger, cat and mouse. And I take pride in the fact that Norman Bones did not get a hold of Pistol Pete. It was I put that above the story that I did with Kudo and Chow and everybody. Because I understood the significance of what Ziggy was trying to do there in that long time frame. And he wasn't forceful with stuff. Ziggy stalked Norman Bones stalked his prey, and he pounced when he had the chance. And I was very wary, and I was constantly looking over my shoulder during that time when Norman was going after Pistol Pete. But that was probably my favorite thing to be involved in for roleplay. Because I mean, my heart would pound sometimes when Norman was just sitting there watching me, and I'm in a tow truck or I'm doing something, and I turn around and Ziggy was so good with this. Like, Norman would just pop up out of nowhere, like just there he is, and I'm like, Jesus, But he scared the living shit out of me all the time.
For sure.
Me personally, I have nightmares about that crap.
Oh my god!
Like.
Have you told Ziggy this?
I have not told Ziggy that at all. But yeah, when you get invested in that kind of role play, and I'm sure some role players here do have dreams when you're sleeping about things that happen in role play, but there are times that I'll wake up and I'll just be like, why the hell am I dreaming about fucking Norman Bones of all people, But I also became a judge around the same time. So I had it was hard for me because I had Pistol Pete, and then we had the big sentencing hearing for Norman, and Norman was on the old server was executed and stuff. But and I didn't really have a play in that or a part in that because of the Pete stuff. But just being involved in that, he did perma one of my characters, and no, it wasn't done on stream. It was just a chance encounter. One of my characters went into prison. I had an old man.
The old man. What was his
name
name?
was Clarence. His
Oh.
name was Clarence Cooper. And I had gone to prison for something really stupid. I can't even remember what it was. I kept the guy pretty clean, and I called a taxi, and fucking Norman Bones showed up and picked me up, and that was it. Down to the mine shaft, and goodbye. That was it. And I permitted him. And Ziggy didn't even know that because nobody showed up. It was just one of those things that happened on the old server, and I did end up telling him that like after the fact, and he was like, fuck, how Ziggy is, fuck, but yeah, good times.
For sure. I think it's been said on a previous episode how much of an impact that whole story made with Norman because it was big. I remember
it impacted a lot of people
yeah,
on NoPixel at the time because of the victims, and then the friends of the victims, and people wanting to get Norman, and the PD was very, very slow with it, and there was a lot of emotions built up in that. And I saw it, and I'm just like, man, this is something huge, And like I said, I had just got done with the Pete and the Chow thing, and I understand why Ziggy went that road, because things were kind of getting a little stale again with the long burn stuff, and then all of a sudden, here's Norman Bones out of nowhere, and
right.
what a demon,
Have you guys thought about making serial killer characters?
No comment.
No comment.
No comment.
What the fuck, guys? He's supposed to give me the scoops, man. Fine. Next question. Damn it.
Put it this way, there may be a group of serial killers on the loose soon.
Okay. All right. Don't give me spoilers because I want to investigate it. Okay, Carby Draws. Yeah, I know. Okay, Carby Draws as Kari. Do you have any ideas for Chloe's character arcs in the future, or are you going to go with the flow?
I honestly kind of just go with the flow. I don't like to plot things out. I just kind of like to let it happen. For me, like plotting out background stuff is one thing, but plotting out like current stuff that's happening, to an extent, there needs to be like if it's something like super major, you need to make sure that people are okay with it, you
Right.
know?
Yeah.
But if it's like I don't want to plot out every detail, if that makes sense. I just kind of want to go with the flow and let it happen and see how it impacts my character, kind of thing.
Yeah, for sure. I think having goals for your character is really good, but then with the way the server is, letting the server just take you somewhere with a character
Yeah.
always ends up pretty good. Somehow it magically ends up in a way that you didn't expect, but most of the time it comes out pretty good. It comes up, especially with the dark stuff, that came out pretty good for me. But yeah, I kind of I want more of that kind of stuff to happen. Just kind of random plots that give you characters in development. But yeah, I don't think planning the future is always a good idea because you're only going to get disappointed when it doesn't go the right way. So I guess I might as well ask you the same question, Dennis. I said Dennis. Airborne. Do you have any?
Don't worry, I get it all the time.
Do you have any ideas for Dennis's future? Is there a plan in mind? Is there, or is it again? Is it a go with the flow?
Yeah, eventually I will retire out of the DOJ. It's something that like when I was approached about becoming a judge, I was given that opportunity. I took it, and I saw it like I can kind of equate it like when I was in the military, you don't just turn away from opportunities that are asked of you or given to you,
Right.
you know?
Yeah.
And when Coop approached me right near the end of the whole thing with Pete and Chow and the court case was coming up, I felt like he gave me an opportunity, and I will always be grateful of that. I didn't expect to join NoPixel and get to where I am today. And I also value the fact that I didn't do it on my own. There are so many people that have supported me throughout this whole thing. And I get a little choked up every now and then when I think about it. Like I joined the server and here I am now. And it's not always been like smooth sailing, but I think that's what's good about roleplay. It can impact you in game and it can impact you outside the game as well. But at some point, I don't know exactly when, I will probably step down as
Dennis! Step down as what? Step down as what? No!
Is that him stepping down?
No, you just stepped down live on stream, dude. Don't worry. This is fine. This is fine. It's all good. Kari, we can ask you a question. And we'll never know what he's going to step down as.
Oh my god. We'll never know.
We'll never know. But the next question was for you anyway, which is from Flyem, who asks you, Kari, what was the most memorable time you got kidnapped?
Oh god. Well, the Eugene time, I already talked about that. I don't think that's something Chloe will ever forget, and I don't think it's something I would forget. But there was another time where basically I was on duty, and it was, for some reason there was also only one cop on duty as well. So I got kidnapped and taken to the vault, and I was the only medic on duty.
Oh god.
And so I'm just kind of handcuffed. The robbery stuff is called in. The one cop that's on duty shows up and he's like, "You're gonna kidnap the only medic on duty when there's only one cop on duty?" And they're like, "We were looking for 20 minutes." It was just, it was a funny interaction. They were like, "We've been trying to kidnap someone for 20 minutes now." Like, it was just a very quiet day. And so they took me because they couldn't find anyone for like 20 minutes, and it was just, it was funny. It was one of those days where no one was on for whatever reason. And this was also back when it was only 32 slots as well.
Oh god,
This was
yeah.
before. Yeah, this was before. There's like 70-some people.
It was so much harder back then. I remember playing Criminal a little bit and trying to find. It was both easier and harder because we got a lot of there was a lot of that Legion Square roleplay.
Hmm.
So you could always find a group. But yeah, for sure. I think people who make kidnappings fun are the best kind of people, because if you don't make it fun, then it's hella boring for the other party. So yeah.
Chloe used to get kidnapped a lot. Like, I don't know if you ever saw any of it, but like there was this one time where she got kidnapped like 3 times in one day. And this was before, like, it was like the week leading up to when I started Academy, because I wanted Chloe to go in the server and like meet members of like PD and doctors and everything, so she can just kind of like get to know people for when she starts.
Yeah.
And she just kept getting kidnapped during like that whole first week of waiting to go to Academy. There was one time where like she was in the trunk and they kept bringing her from like bank to bank to bank to bank because they had already been hit.
What the
And so
heck?
she was just in the trunk and they're like, "Everything's gonna be fine." And I'm just like, okay.
How could they?
Just sitting in this trunk, like, all right, as we go to every single bank. And I think we went to like 5 banks, and then the sixth one was like finally a bank that we could hit because all the other ones had already been done. So it was just constantly in and out of the trunk trying to find a bank we could hit. It was
Professional.
great.
Professional. What? My brain. Professional kidnappee. Is that right? Hostage. There we go. That's the word. But yeah, I think Airborne, his Discord's fucked. So we'll hop onto TeamSpeak and we'll go in there and we'll just keep this screen on instead. Should be able to get in somewhere. If he drags us, we'll be fine. Airborne, if you can hear us, drag us in to your channel somewhere. I've got all sounds off though. God. It's fine. This is fine. Everything's fine. Don't panic. Don't panic, alright? I'm not panicking. You're gonna have to find me I'm in the AFK, the new channel. I also, chat, while we'll have this intermission, I also forgot to click start recording, so we missed a little bit. I'm tired, man. So we'll have to figure it. Wait, is Kari gone too? I'm in here on my own. Uh-oh. Alright, I want to end the call. It's just so I'm not sitting in Discord on my own. But it's just me and you, chat. It's just me and you. Oh, by myself. Oh, wait, am I in? Hold up.
Hey.
Oh,
You're in my channel, yeah.
Hello? Okay, I have push talk on this, but that's fine.
You can swap to
there we go. Oh my god.
To voice activity. Yeah.
All right. Well, I'll do that while you guys answer this next question, which is from Superstar, which is for Airborne. What's it like balancing being a mod for the server, I guess an admin, and a judge? Does it make it harder to come up with new laws and how you handle cases?
So for the Chief Justice and what's it like being a judge, like the Chief Justice and an admin for NoPixel, it can be time consuming. With the DOJ, I'm responsible for a lot of different things. And as an admin, I'm more or less like, for me, admin work, I'm more of like on the spot kind of admin stuff because I'm in the server so much. Not so much like the back end admin stuff that a lot of the admins do, like Game Demented and Derek and stuff like that. Right. Scheduling meetings, different things. Yeah, but it's very time consuming. I wake up in the morning, I get a lot of messages. I go through those messages. I check admin stuff. Sometimes I might hop on the server. People won't see me because I'm doing admin stuff. It's a fine balance.
Sneaky. How often do you go in the server just to kind of watch, I guess? Because I know Wayward, didn't he say he has 2 PCs and one of them he just flies around with and looks at what people are doing? Or am I crazy?
I'm not sure. I don't think he does. So for me, I may do it 2 or 3 times a week just to keep an eye on stuff.
Right.
Or if I see something going on that shouldn't be going on, I'll do it. I don't really talk about it that much because it's one of those things that, like, I know people know I'm an admin and I'll see something, I'll be walking up and I'll see something going on. When I get there, people are like, oh shit, it's Dennis. It's not Chief Justice Dennis, it's admin Airborne,
right.
Like, yeah. So even just that presence sometimes lets people know. But it's one of those things that I don't do it all the time. When it was new and cool, it was like, yeah, go check this out. And sometimes you pop in on something you may not want to hear though. No. There's a lot more ERP going on than people think. Let's put it that way. Mm-hmm.
I always knew it's Randy, isn't it? You can tell us. Right, it's
yeah, it's 100% rated.
Yeah. Okay, nice. You clip it and ship it. Nice.
Nah, because I'm not streaming it at the time, or recording it. It's more or less you do it just to kind of keep an eye on stuff, and it gives you a better sense of how people are when they're not around other people, kind of thing,
Yeah, I think. I really want to do that. I just want an insight into what people do when they don't think anyone else is around on the server.
It's quite interesting to watch. Sit back and watch. But sometimes you see some of the best stuff though, and people aren't streaming it, and it's a shame.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Sure.
Yep.
Is that because of meta, or is that because of the thing?
I just think some of those people aren't streamers.
Oh right, yes.
Yeah.
Of course.
Yeah. That's basically it. Because if you want to watch it, you can just pull up someone's stream and be like, okay, this is going on right now. But if you see like a group, because you can do certain commands or whatever to toggle blips on, and you can see things, and you can see like, okay, what's this group doing over here? So you just hop in and look real quick, and okay, everything's cool, just having a meeting or something. But a lot of times too, I don't want to be privy to stuff because I am the Chief Justice. If there's a court case, I'm kind of like Judd. I don't want to see a stream with something, and I already know what's happened going into a court case, and that's probably one of the most difficult things to do. And I mean, I've gone to Reddit and seen the comments like they already saw that this guy was guilty, and it's like I haven't seen anything. A lot of times I'll read the statement of claim and then I'll make rulings on the evidence that's provided, and some of those might be news clips and stuff like that. But from Weasel News, with the overlay, but this still doesn't make the person 100% guilty. Like they're innocent until proven guilty, and I think a lot of people don't view the judges as being neutral. They don't get our feedback really. And at one point I was going to put up a website with like how we ruled on court cases and stuff like that. But honestly, as good as I think it would be equally just as bad. People would rip stuff apart because they don't realize that we're here to role play and the laws are completely different than IRL, and they still don't get it through their heads that, and I'm not saying like the community, I'm saying it's more of like viewers and stuff. It's a 50-50 split, but it's hard to read some of those comments and be like, you're just wrong, but I don't address those comments either, and I don't feel I should have to.
No,
That's my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. I think I don't think, at least from role players' perspective, all the judges are great, and nobody really has a problem with it, because I think for the most part, I like how you're all neutral, but you all have your own way of ruling on things. You're not all like,
that's the other thing,
same bland.
And we get a lot of comments about, well, this judge ruled this way and this judge ruled this way. Well, I mean, that's why in the United States of America, we have 9 Supreme Court justices, and a lot of those splits are 5-4. That's why we have votes that way. Pro death penalty, not death penalty, all sorts of things. And it's a shame that people don't understand that. Not everyone's going to rule the same way, even with the evidence right in front of them. We may see it a different way because we may have seen the picture painted to us a different way.
Yeah. I think perspective is important, and people, especially viewers, need to realize that they'll have a lot more. But I think, I don't know. I hope it's getting better. I hope communities, people are telling their communities, you'd be like, calm it down a little bit and get a good perspective on it.
Listen, I could take the heat all day, man. I got thick skin. Like bring it on.
I'm sure you do.
I will battle you to the end.
Okay, well, let's get through this question. There's not many left, but there's some good ones coming. So we'll try and wrap this up because there's Discord is fucked up.
Great.
We've asked this one. Actually, this one's from XL Banana Hammock, who asked both of you. If Chloe and Labar had to go a different route, where would you have liked to see them end up?
Are you talking like our careers? Like
I think so. Yeah, I think. I guess if Dennis or Chloe came into the city and they couldn't or didn't become EMS or DOJ, where would they have gone?
I could see Dennis being framed for murder, wrongfully convicted, and spending life in prison trying to get exonerated. Something cool like that would be awesome. A life character that didn't do the crime and is sitting in prison for life.
Holy shit. That would be really interesting, actually.
Yeah. But it would take a lot of like clues being left behind and DNA that's not his, and you know what I mean? But
right.
Something like that. Yeah.
Holy crap! I never considered that. I think with DOC in the prison now, we're going to see a lot more lifers coming up, which is going to be really cool. And more people will want to, like, when the option comes up in the future for like having people go to prison for life. I think people are going to be like, yes, I want to do that now.
I've gotten a lot of questions. I've seen a lot of people in /OOC going in game. Hey, can my character have the 9s? I've gotten messages on TeamSpeak while I'm in game. I've gotten messages on the forums. I've gotten messages on Discord. What do I need to do to put my character in for life?
So cool.
Well, I mean, you could go out there and tear the city up and do some crime. That would probably be a good start, in my opinion. Like, I would like to see things developed into it, not just, okay, I'm here. Throw me in.
I do have a plan for
yeah.
a possible life character.
Yeah. Right. And Bovice's character had a backstory, and he was put in prison for life, but he was transferred from another city, and he had done a lot of heinous crimes, and he was the first person to ever come up and just be like, "This is what I have, and this is what's going on." And I think he did it well. But
For sure.
like, the other day, I saw something about me, and they were like, "Oh," because it was one of Immortal's characters. And that wasn't me. That was Dennis just like pissed off because people were coming up to him on the courthouse steps being like, what do I do to go in for life? Or what does my cousin do? And I'm just sitting there going, scratching my head like, what the fuck are you talking about? Like,
right.
Like you're coming to a judge begging to go to prison. Like, it's, there
could be some more. This is definitely
frustrating.
It gets frustrating when there isn't enough effort put in. And I think
Exactly.
people just need to realize that a little bit more.
Yeah.
But people creative with it. And that goes for everything and every aspect of the
Right.
server. It's just that
Yeah.
prison was a good target for it.
100%. Now I'll let her answer that part. What would she do?
She would
there's Echo.
bark, apparently.
I would bark. There's the dog I was talking about. I mean, hold on. I gotta deal with this thing.
Echo.
But
Bad.
could you imagine that though? Having your character framed for murder, and then you're trying to get out of prison?
Yeah. I think
I don't know if like mechanically it could be done because of evidence and stuff. There would have to be some evidence. It almost comes down to it would be just too scripted, I think, for roleplay.
Right.
But
yeah.
Can you just, I saw someone put, I was going Shawshank with that answer, like Shawshank Redemption, the movie.
Yeah.
Like, like what could you
All right,
do?
I'm good. Sorry.
To get your character out of prison, and you're in there with like the likes of Bovice and Denzel and things like that. It'd be flipping crazy.
It would.
Yeah.
I think one quick thing that before Kari answer, I'll get the name right eventually, I promise. Was that I read something about that the other day about a guy who was in prison for like 13 years, and finally we got released because he was innocent the whole time.
I've reviewed a lot of those cases outside IRL. It happens every day in America. And it goes under the waist, but I think recently there was 3 or 4 gentlemen that were released from prison for crimes that they didn't commit. And I won't go into the nature of the crimes because they're pretty heinous and we shouldn't talk about it. But I think they spent 30 to 35 years, all 3 or 4 of them, in prison, and they didn't do it. And to maintain your innocence for that long and to not give up and to have legal teams that are out there actively fighting for them is impressive. But you just lost 30 something years of your life out on the streets, and all you know is prison. That has to be probably one of the hardest transitions that any human being can make.
For sure. It's crazy. But Chloe, you know what else is crazy? Your answer to this question.
I'm sorry. I didn't mean to bark.
No, it's okay. If Chloe Labar had to go a different route, where would you like to see him end up?
So, I actually talked about this to stream briefly, but if Chloe had to go in like another occupational direction, I would want her to be still like a civ. I wouldn't want her to do any crime or anything. That's just kind of the way I built the character. She's not a criminal. So psychologist is something that did you no bad song bad. But psychologist would probably be something that she would be good at. I also think it would be funny, even though we talked about it briefly, to see what it would be like if Chloe was a judge. I think that would be fun to see.
Yeah.
But I think if like I had just kind of like made Chloe and put her in the server without any thoughts of putting her in EMS, just kept her with that like optimistic, bubbly personality, she'd probably end up being like Mako, where like she's innocent and getting pulled into like all these situations, like how he was in the beginning, where like he's just like super innocent and people are like, come do this, and like no idea what's going on, just doing it. That's probably what would have happened to Chloe had she not been made for EMS specifically.
Chloe would
She'd be corrupted.
she would be perfect for El Tesso's gang. All right, you've got Tessa, Vivi, and Chloe, the most innocent-looking people and sounding people in the server, and then they just stab you. That's what I would want to see. All right, that's the dark kind of Chloe I want to see.
See, that's the thing. I actually, like, back in the day, like, after I made Chloe, I wanted to just kind of, like, I was thinking about it. I was like, I would love to make a serial killer that was just kind of, like, a very, very optimistic and stuff like Chloe. But then, like, once they get, whoever they want alone, it just kind of shuts off. And they stop, smiling, being bubbly. They start, like, talking monotone and everything. Like, it's just, like, 100% an act. You know what I mean? Like, it just goes from completely normal to just, like...
Psychopath.
Just like
Yeah.
flipping a switch,
Okay, Chloe, you scared me. Stop it.
Yeah, Tessa scares me.
Yeah, for
Like,
sure.
I didn't know any of this stuff. And then one day, Slasher was on Fenton, and he did, like, it was after a court case. He was like, Slash me knows El Tesso is a kingpin. And I was like, what the hell? And I went back to Slasher and I asked him, what was that about? And then, like, I got handed a bunch of clips and I'm like, Jesus fucking, I didn't know she was doing that stuff because I don't watch a lot of streams. I didn't know Tessa was and Vivi were out there just killing people. So now when Tessa stops by the courthouse like daily, and I'm just like, like, gotta go, Tessa.
You little meta game, man.
I interact with her. No, I interact with her, but it's just like, you bad girl, Tessa. You're bad. I had no clue at all. Scared the crap out of me now.
Yeah, I want more. I want more little innocent civilians that Dark can investigate. That's all I want in life.
And her
Soon
little,
TM.
her little light voice and everything, and to know that she can just get evil like that is just like, oh my god. Yeah.
Love it. Okay, next question is from Norway 171717 for both of you. Who's your favorite character to interact with who you think is very underrated?
Ooh. Favorite character, if I had to pick one to interact with. Man, I'm gonna let a lot of people down here probably, but honestly, Jordan Steele for Labar. 100% Jordan Steele. He will charge those people with everything he can get, and it basically, they're like, I want a bench trial, and he doesn't complain about it. He comes in for his bench trial. He goes with it, and he may get some of those charges dropped, and he goes with the ones that'll stick. Underrated. Oh man,
I love how Jordan's like 43-0 in court.
Yeah. We're keeping like a tally going on, which is underrated in roleplay as to terms of their roleplay, or what do we?
It's up to you. It's up to you.
Okay. Okay, so there's a couple. There's one down in the Vagos, Mario.
Oh my god,
yeah. He's like, no problem.
Oh no, that's yeah.
Get it right. I think Mario from the barrio is great, and he sticks with his whole trademark on no problem, whatever how he does it. Let's see. So that would be more like a civilian kind of thing, a gang member. For the cops, I'm gonna say Casterman. Casterman is a long official Whitey has been on NoPixel for
very long time.
Before I was.
Yeah, so he was around during the start of GTA.
And he was one of the younger ones, but I think as his law enforcement officer, he's one of probably, if not the most professional when it comes to police and police RP. 1,000,000% support that kid. And he can play the shit out of a piano.
Oh my god, yeah, he can.
Yeah.
I love him streams all the time. He's a little baby.
Yep. He's young, but he is he's another one that is very underrated. And yeah. So if you guys ever get a chance, you guys go by and support that kid. 100%. Yeah.
What about you, Chloe? Kari?
You're having issues, aren't you?
I am. I'm so tired.
I don't know a lot about this person's character, but someone that I like interacting with is Ian, who does the escape room
the
puzzles and stuff. what was it? Airborne. We did that fucking.
Oh,
we're
he's got
doing
one
that
he's
beta
working
testing
on.
one. It took like
Yeah.
3 hours, and we weren't even halfway through
Yeah,
it.
he's working on one right
But
now, and we won't give anything what's going on with it. But and I'm sure some people have seen streams, but this one is a lot more intense than the escape room. Yeah, crazy.
I need to do one, dude. I've missed out.
well, like I said, I don't know a lot about the character, but it's very creative what he does, and it brings things to do that aren't criminal. You know what I mean? Like
Right.
you can do his puzzle and you can do his escape room without getting arrested for it. It's completely legal, gives you something to do, and I just think it's really creative, and it brings role play to a lot of people. So that's why I really like the character, because it's bringing stuff for
Right.
civs
Yeah,
to
it's
do.
selfless. Yeah.
Yep.
I think it's a recurring theme on this show that I bring up every week, is that the new characters that stand out the most are the ones who are selfless with their roleplay. The people who are giving a lot to others and not really getting a lot back themselves, are really making a difference. Because,
and
well,
I think Frogbound, Edward, is that his name?
Edward Nigma, yeah.
He does a lot of giving away. It's not about money for him and stuff like that. And I saw someone ask him on a stream the other day, like, how much money you got now? And he's like 17,000. They were like, wait, where'd all your money go? He's like, because I put it back into role play. I think Frogbound is very good with that, and I think that he gets overlooked a lot as well. But he also lays low. He's not out there putting himself way out there to where, like, he's some big crime guy and stuff. And he plays that character very smart, and I like that he stays true to his character.
I completely agree. The people who don't stream and they do some like low-key criminal stuff, and they don't try and be the big guy, they're just doing stuff in the background that don't really get noticed. Shout out to you, whoever you are, because it takes a lot to kind of, NoPixel's a very, what's the word? There's a lot of, I guess, Twitch NoPixel celebrities around now because of their streams and stuff, and a lot of people like to be involved with those kind of people. The people who will completely avoid it and focus on doing something cool in the background, I think those are the people who are super cool too. I'm trying to think of an answer myself, but I'm not very good at this kind of thing.
I'll put it this way. You can be the face of NoPixel without actually being the face of NoPixel.
Right.
Those are the core people that you want in the server, and that the server needs for things to move forward and to go on. And we'll always have those kind of people, but they don't go unappreciated. That's for sure.
Yeah, I think one person who's both like an inspiration, but also, even though he's so good, he's also underrated. I think still is Connor Cronus, because he's rated, but I still think he's underrated because the way his thought process about everything and his passion, I think, is like, it's out of this world, dude. He works so hard on voices and characters and everything.
100%.
I agree. I think he's both, because like, while he is, he pulls in good numbers and everything, and people know exactly who he is.
Right.
He does a lot of the stuff off stream as well. And so I think he's rated in, you know what I mean? But he's going to be another one that I said I love role playing with him. Like any character that I get to interact with, he's just very creative and good at what he does.
Yeah, my favorite of his is Morgan Freedman, 100%.
I got to interact with him on like I made an old lady shitlord character named Mabel Miller. And this was like back when I first started on the server, and I got kidnapped on a bus with him. And
that was by myself and Joy on Pistol Pete and Mary.
Yeah, it was.
Yep, and I paid for it daily. Morgan made me realize that he is God. Yeah. I went to the heck realm.
That was a lot of fun.
There was some scuff involved, and he saw my character sitting there, and he went to escort my character, and I was in the prison, and he grabbed me and he said it with the Morgan Friedman voice for, what was that, Bruce Almighty?
Yeah.
That, yeah, he said it. I told you, Pete. I told you I'm God. And I was like, oh shit, like, because I was in prison talking to Mary, and 20 seconds later, I'm out on the side of the road next to a scuffed car.
Oh my god!
Like, it was perfect timing. But yeah, he's a good one. But I understand why he doesn't stream a lot of the stuff that he does too.
Yeah, I don't blame him either. I think it adds to the mystery.
Yeah.
Smoke and mirrors and all that kind of stuff. But
yeah, someone just said his narrative RP. Like, when I hired him one day for a bench trial and he was narrating the bench trial while we were doing the bench trial was amazing.
You've just reminded me. The narrator, the new guy. What's his stream? I can't remember his stream. Oh
I don't
my
know.
god, I follow him.
Connor was narrating it as Morgan Friedman, So I don't know if I've met that person. There's an actual narrator.
Yeah,
he's
doing a very similar thing. He like sits in the back of police cars and he like follows people around. You should definitely run into him on Dennis because it'll be great.
Oh god.
I think that's someone put it in chat. Oh my god, I can't see it. Done running 12. There we go. Yeah. I can't remember his actual character name.
Done running 12. Okay.
He goes by the narrator. He's really good. He's got a great voice.
Maybe I'll run into him one day. I don't want to force anything, but it would be funny to do
For sure.
that. Yeah, there's some good ones out there. I had my Sam Miller character real quick. And I ended up perming him, but Dogbert had Aid Miller, and we always like, man, it'd be cool if we ran into each other, but we never planned anything. So one day I was at the courthouse on Sam Miller, and I think the pimp was there, and he was yelling at me about something, and then Aid came over, and he's like, "Who the hell are you?" And I was like, "I'm Sam Miller." And he's like, "Dad?" And then we just rolled with it, like we went on that, fire insurance selling spree for a couple months, and then Sam died. But it was just so, like, one of my favorites to interact with is Dogbert, because and I'll tell you why, because he makes me friggin' laugh every 5 seconds that I can't even stay in character half the time. When he's on Aid and stuff, and he's able to keep a straight face, and I can't do it. I don't know how the hell people don't laugh so much that it's just breaking everyone's immersion. So yeah,
it's a skill you gotta master it. Okay, give some tips and that. Chloe's not gonna give any tips because Chloe's just the giggle master.
Listen, when I start laughing, it's so hard for me to stop laughing. But then again, I think laughter is a key to, a couple things that everybody should do every day. You should have your emotions move you to laughter.
Yeah.
You have to,
Don't laugh, what can you do?
Mm-hmm.
Next question is from, it's kind of already been answered. Mr. Drunken Batman asked Kari if Chloe ever left EMS and joined a gang. Which gang would you like to join most, theoretically?
I think if she joined a gang, it would probably she'd probably want to go with
Fat Gang.
Well, I'm trying to think, because like she knows a lot of criminals, and I wouldn't say she's friends, but like gets along well, you know what I mean? Like talks to them. Like she talks to Saab, she talks to Gomer. She talks to ghosts, other people. So, like, she knows people in different gangs. But I think in terms of who she'd probably fit in well with, it would probably be with Tessa and...
Knew it.
I knew it.
I think that dynamic, not that she's a gang, but she'd fit in with them.
You're going down.
Probably.
That's
the
it,
best.
You're done. I don't know. That's a far reach, but like, if I could put Pistol Pete in a gang, I know where I'd want to be.
Where?
I would love to have a run with Pistol Pete and the Lean Boys. With Ellie and Curtis and Sab and Tony and Buddha. That'd be probably some cool stuff. But yeah,
I think that's what the Lean Boys are, and I think Pistol Pete fits their
demeanor.
Yeah, they're a group of very
get out of our way or get run over.
Right.
Yeah.
Very brutal, and even though Ellie's in They're very brutal
Listen,
and very very cool characters.
I'm waiting for the day when there's an all-female group out there that is ruthless and cutthroat, and
Yeah,
I pray for it in RP. I would, I mean, if and I spoke to Ellie about it one time when I was on Dennis. We had like this dark moment, and I was like, "Why aren't you leading a gang, Ellie? Why are you letting these guys control you?" I was trying to plant the seed, but Ellie's not going to break away from the Lean Boys, her brothers, right? But it was just one of those moments where I was like, why isn't there a four-woman group running around just tearing the place up and doing their thing? I don't know.
I think that's Tessa. That's when Tessa goes wild. That's what it's
Yeah,
gonna be.
yeah. That would have to be something wild, but I just don't know, man. I'm waiting. I'm sitting back waiting. I will fund you. Dennis, no. Dennis is waiting.
Waiting. Well, what was gang with Dennis join?
What gang would Dennis join?
HOA.
Oh, man. Vagos, man. You gotta fit in with
Of course,
the Vagos.
dude.
Yeah, I
Of
got my
course,
apartment down in
Labarrio.
the barrio, the Vagos all the way.
Hell
Speedy and Dennis running around, and Flippy and Mario.
That'd be cool, dude.
And yeah, it would be some funny stuff. But I think it would be one of those things where like, Dennis would eventually like butt heads with Speedy. So I don't know how well it would, because I look at Speedy as like the leader of that group, right?
Yeah.
And everybody does, but I don't know how long Dennis could stay under Speedy's control before they actually like butted heads. So, I don't know.
For sure. I think.
Stay tuned, kids.
Stay tuned. There you go. You heard it here first. Okay, we'll wrap it up with a couple questions. Olio in chat asks Airborne, after Murphy, the OG lawyer's journey, how do you feel about Judge Holden's comeback to Los Santos?
I'm all about it. I respect everything that Murphy's done for NoPixel. He was a judge before I was. There was a lot of conflict between our judges. Murphy's Judge Holden character was very critical of Dennis in the early days, and Dennis had to earn his place. Whereas Dennis felt that Nina was like the chosen judge out of those two judge hires. But Murphy wasn't easy on me, and I appreciate that fact. When his Judge Holden character wasn't easy, I felt like I had to earn Holden's respect, and I appreciate that.
I'm excited.
I'm all for it.
Yeah, I'm
I am
excited.
as well.
I remember Judge Holden back in the day. I wasn't really paying attention much to DOJ, I'll be honest, but I remember like Nina too. It was there. There was all the judges have been cool, man, and there hasn't been one yet when I've been like, who, like, they've all been so different, and I really enjoyed the variety that you guys bring.
Yeah, I can't have my judges all rule the same way, and I'm not one to pull them aside and be like, what the hell were you thinking with that? They need to sleep in the bed that they make, and sometimes you might get the decision wrong and you're going to get the backlash for it, but it's what you do from going forward after that.
Yeah, I think I want more conflict to roleplay between the DOJ and between the PD too. I think there's some really cool discussions to have.
You want more conflict between us?
Yeah, I think.
I mean, there's been a lot of conflict.
Yeah,
it gets nipped in the bud rather quickly,
right?
With a fix of a law or something like that. It's one of those things where the core government groups have to all work together in order for the server to function correctly. I think.
True.
I think with some of the things that are going on, maybe there will be conflict eventually. But I also think that some people feel that it's an OOC thing, and it's not. Everything's done as a character thing,
Right.
and I hope that people can be understanding and respectful of that.
For sure. And what else is respectful is this question from Chris C from RMNB, who asks Kari, who was the cop you have to pick up the most, and what was the most insane call you responded to?
I'd say back when I started, I had to pick up Ziggy a lot. These days it's either Casterman or Espino's that I pick up the most.
Of course,
I
it's
I
Ed for
just
them.
it's one of those two that I pick up the most these days. But back when I started, it was definitely Ziggy, and I've gotten in the habit of calling Casterman Crashterman every time I have to pick him up. He doesn't like it, but that's his name. What was the other question though? I
The other
tried on the
question
internet.
was, what was the most insane call you ever had to respond to?
Uh, probably. I don't know if people saw it on stream, but it was something with Gomer, and he was doing some like hell rides up the mountain or some shit. And I had to do this like mountain rescue of all the fucking judges because they thought it would be a really good idea to go with Gomer up this mountain. So I had to do this mountain rescue for them. And I get them all in the helicopter, and everything's going very well. And then I get in the helicopter, and then the helicopter starts sliding down the mountain and then crashes and explodes. That was probably my most memorable
Nice.
call that I ever had to do. It was after all that effort, I think it took me like 10-15 minutes to like crawl around the mountain and get everyone into the helicopter and treat all the injuries.
Fucking
And then
judges, man.
I get ready to take off, and then the helicopter just decides to slide down and explode.
Yeah.
I was so
Yeah,
irritated.
I remember
I
that
was
because
like,
Tim Mack had kind of been newer to coming to NoPixel and Gomer, and I'd never. That was probably my first couple interactions with Gomer, and he was like, come on, LeBar, let's go get up into the hill ride. And I brought Coop with me, and that was the end of it. Like.
I think I think the judges and the EMS when they're off duty are some of the most fun people. I think it's because you guys are kind of stuck doing things all day. I think it goes for cops as well, but maybe not so much because we don't do as much off duty. But I think seeing judges and EMS unleashed is fun to see, and I want to see it more often.
We have to be creative because we can't do anything illegal.
Right.
So, well, I mean, we can't be caught doing anything illegal. Let's put it that way. So, I mean, we're not out there killing people or anything like that. But the other thing is like if old NoPixel when there was like 30 something people. If I'm Dennis, I'm at the courthouse. Like, you just give someone just enough information because if the server got slow and it was very like. Like calm. There was nothing going on. I'm sitting there thinking as Dennis, like, what could I do right now to get some action going? And just one little bug in someone's ear, and there you go, off to the races.
Easy as that. Just a prompt. I love it.
Yep.
And what else I love is this final question to wrap it up from Kiavolo, which is for Airborne, and of course, it's will you ever give the lighthouse to Eugene?
Will I ever give the lighthouse to Eugene?
Yeah.
The thing with Eugene is if Eugene makes a deal and he's ready to retire, and that's where he's going to live out the rest of his days at that lighthouse, and he's not going to do any crime, I'll give him the lighthouse if we can mechanically give it to him.
Right.
Now Vader knows that, and Airborne knows that the lighthouse isn't purchasable right now, but if Eugene decided it was time for him to retire, he'd have to go for it. But then again, would Norman Bones want the lighthouse? So maybe we could have like a massive auction or a court case over who gets the lighthouse and why. And something like that.
I'd love for there to be like a custom lighthouse interior.
Yeah.
Would be better.
Yeah, but I think to reward Eugene with something like that, Eugene would have to tone down the crimes that he does and things. Would it be cool? Yeah, but I also think that Norman is should have a say in that too.
I agree.
So I don't know, maybe like some kind of competition for who winner gets the lighthouse kind of thing.
That'd be really cool. I think doing that for more. There's some really cool areas on the server, and if the real estate could do some stuff like that, it'd be really cool.
Yeah, it's like when we told Chips that all the drugs that were seized from him were put in the mine shaft. Chips legitimately took his van over there and was looking for the drugs inside the mine shaft. Like, there's just different, Chips. Chips and his moms and his dad, and oh my god, the Steele family is a mess.
But it's a good mess. It's like a sitcom.
It is. I sit back and laugh. I just sit there. It's great.
Well,
Thank you.
yeah. No, thank you guys for coming on. We're gonna wrap it up because otherwise I'll pass out and keep on calling Chloe Kari or something. The real name. But yeah,
Chloe Kari. Yeah.
I mean, oh my god, I meant Kari Chloe. There we go. I got it right this time. Okay, yeah. Thank you guys for coming on. I'm gonna go say goodbye to everybody on stream, but it was really cool talking to you guys. And getting the insight again. Like literally, this answer to the question of how you make a character is what I look forward to every week because everyone has different answers. Kiwo was a pun. Chloe likes to write everything out. It's. I might just call you Chloe again. I'm sorry.
There you go.
I need to go. I need to go. Thank you for that.
Thank you so much for having us. I really do appreciate it.
Hell yeah.
Me too. I appreciate it a lot. It was a lot of fun.
And maybe sometime in the future, if I run out of guests again, in like 6 months when Labario is the El Jefe and Chloe's killing people with Tessa, we can come on again and see how things are.
Sure.
Hell yeah.
I'm down for anything.
Until then, thank you guys for coming on. I'm going to deafen now, but wait, deafen? We're not on Discord anymore. I'm going to mute.
Nope.
But I'll talk to you afterwards. Okay.
Okay.
I'll see you soon.
We'll wait here.
Bye.
Thanks. Bye.
Chat. What a cool episode. What some cool people, huh? Yeah, I am absolutely fucking shattered. Excuse my language. I'm gonna have to figure out how I'm gonna get this video on YouTube tomorrow. Because I missed the recording. Good job, Sock. But yeah, I'm glad you guys. Thank you, Mantis, for excusing me. I appreciate you guys coming and hanging out again. Thank you everyone for the questions, the art, all that I've been getting. No matter the scuff, we made this episode work, and it was really fun. Yeah, I'll probably just take it from the VOD. But yeah, I need to go and relax for a bit, because today has been hectic. I woke up, had an exam, came home, ate some food, did this podcast, and now I need to just go chill out. But next week, we should have some more cool people. I have guests in the lineup, so there could be 3 people coming on next week. Possibly. We'll see how that goes. But yeah. Thank you to Kari and Airborne and to you beautiful chat. And I'll catch you on the next one. Adios.